Welcome back to episode 325 of the Guy Guns Podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about guide guns and responsible Christian gun owners' interest. On this week's show, we'll be talking about Doug's South Dakota pheasant hunting trip.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll be talking about Thanksgiving, an attitude of gratitude.
Indeed.
First off, we want to thank our bandwidth sponsors. This show is brought to you by Primary Arms. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms with over 13,000 products and 400 top brands. Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearms parts, shooting gear, apparel, and more. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service backed by fast shipping and an expert support team. Serving freedom since 2008. You can find out more about Primary Arms at frn.deals/PA Papa Alpha. Also want to thank Firearms Radio Network. Firearms Radio Network hosts all that information out there for you guys to download at your convenience. All those podcasts, over 324 current podcasts out there for you guys to download at your convenience. If you've not checked out other shows at the Firearms Radio Network, like Reloading Podcast and We Like Shooting, and I mean, there's a plethora. We got Paul's back in the house, so we got Student of the Gun. Man, who else? Marty's back.
Talking Lead.
Talking Lead's back. So all the original gangsters are back in the group. So go check out other things over on Firearms Radio Network if you haven't already. Patriot Patch Co.
Yes.
Patriot Patch Company. Our buddy Jake over there has sent us all kinds of goodies and doodads and stickers and gun rugs, and I think I showed all this stuff last week. Let's see. I think I hooked up here. The Tree of Liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Mostly tyrants. That's the way we prefer it. But there's a little give and take. But if you've not checked out all the cool stuff over Patriot Patch, they have every month new patches, and they have a bunch of new things over there all the time. Get on their mailing list, get it on their Patch of the Month club, and you can get cool shirts. You can buy our patches, which Patriot Patch makes as well. So please go over there and give Jake and Ryan some love. This week's guiding gun activities. What have you been up to this it's going on 2 weeks now, because you was enjoying yourself out there in the windy state of South Dakota.
Whew, I tell you what, man. Let's see. On the God side, of course, I've been doing my Sportsman's Daily Devotional. I left my other devotional book. I forgot and left it next to my chair and didn't take it with me. But I know. But yeah, last week I was out in South Dakota for my first trip of the year. I went out with some buddies, and man, you talk about fun. It's a bucket list hunt. I never hunted pheasant before. Well, other than a continental pheasant hunt, and I don't consider that hunting. That's just, they throw them out of a chute and you shoot at them. It's not a lot of sport. It's just target practice. But these were wild pheasant. Yeah. Free range chickens, I guess, what you could call them. But man, they are pretty birds. And we were out there the first day. It wasn't too bad. It had a nice little breeze of about 20 miles an hour most of the day, and it got up to, I don't know, like 49, something like that. Second day we got up, it was 20 degrees. We started hunting, it was 28 degrees, and it didn't get over about 35, 36.
How much did you get snowed on?
No, there was no snow. They'd had snow the week before. Before we got out there, they had some, but it had melted off. And but the second day, it was 50 mile an hour sustained wind all day. I mean, it was horrible.
I told you,
man.
You can't believe how much wind comes across some plains, man.
No, and it's like, and there was no storm, no nothing. It was just blowing.
No. It's winter, summer, spring, and fall, man. You're driving west, you're driving into that wind.
Oh, I tell you what, man, when a pheasant did get up, you better get on him quick, because when
Turned in.
he got that little puff behind him, he was gone,
Yeah.
and it didn't take him just a second to get out of the country. But
Yeah.
I did pretty good. We limited out for our group 3 days or 2 days in a row, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of walking the first day because we were hunting cornfields and uh, the CRP grass and stuff,
Hmm.
and it was thick. And but it was fun. We went out and we did not fly with a gun. Didn't have a Glock mag or anything else in my bag this time. So
Gotta
so
check those, Dave.
I did get checked, but we got out there. We talked to the guy. We were a little leery because we had to change planes, and we wasn't sure the airport we were in because we were changing from a United flight to uh, Pierre Air or something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
Some
little
some
jumper.
yeah, some little plane, and we didn't know if we were going to have to go get our guns, recheck them at the other airport or the other terminal. And so I'd called the guide and talked to him, and he's like, "Oh man, I got plenty of guns. Don't worry about it." He said, "What do you want to hunt with?" I was like, I don't know anything other than a single shot." And he said, "I got you covered." So I wound up hunting with a Browning A5, and it was on. I killed the first bird of the morning. Came up and I took him out, and I did pretty good. It was fun. But we stayed at a lodge out there. We are out just outside of Gettysburg, South Dakota, and stayed in a lodge. And Brad and his wife Brandy, and then his daughter Jordan did most of the cooking. I mean, we had hot breakfast there. You can't hunt pheasant until 10 o'clock in South Dakota, which I didn't know that. And so I've never been on a hunt trip where you got to sleep in, get breakfast stuff, and then go hunting.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. But they had breakfast every morning. We'd come back in at lunch, and they had us a nice hot lunch going, and we'd go hunt. We'd come back in, get a shower, get warmed up, come downstairs, and they had dinner fixed for everybody. And we had in the evening we had pheasant 3 different ways while we were there. And man, that is a tasty bird. And I brought some back in my. they they took it to a place and they cleaned it, vacuum packed it, flash froze it. And Brad's like, "Oh man, he said, take it back with you." He said, "Just put it in the middle of your suitcase, wrap it up. We'll put it in some bags." He said, "You get back to Atlanta." He said, "It'll still be froze hard as a rock." Well, we got ready to get on the plane that morning, and we got on. They started the engine. The captain comes on. He goes, "Well, we're going to have to deboard. We got no oil pressure on one of our engines, so
Oh no.
we got to shut it down and get somebody out to look at it." All right. 2.5 hours later, they fired. Somebody came to look at it, and they said, "Oh, you got to warm it up first." Like, okay. So they warmed it up, and we were a little hesitant about getting back on it, and but flew down to Denver, and I don't know. We got home at about 7:30 that night, and I pulled that pheasant out of my suitcase. It froze like a rock, man. I guess the belly of that plane was chilly.
Yeah. Give it
So
altitude.
yeah, so it was a good hunt, man. Let's see. I got some good news Monday when I got back.
Good.
I had submitted my religious exemption at work for the COVID test,
Good deal.
and I got approved, and so they approved it. So I do not have to take that,
Awesome.
and thank you, Lord. So
Amen.
I still get to have a job. So that makes me happy.
Makes me
Uh,
happy.
yeah, makes me real happy. But other than that, man, been going pretty hard. I'm getting ready to go do a little more deer hunting this week for the Thanksgiving holiday being off.
That's a good thing.
Yes, sir. What you been up to?
Oh, a little bit of this and that. First off, I want to thank all these guys and gals over here. Got
I know, man. You
Paula's
got
over here and Williams over here. Greg, Eric Carter just passed his got his ham ticket. He's a new
Eddie.
ham. Yeah, he has to join the God and Guns ham group, so I got him in there today. So
Outstanding.
congratulations to Eric. he said he was listening to the show and got inspired and went and took the test and passed it.
Good deal.
Billy's over there and Steve's over on the YouTube side. I'm trying to catch up with everything while you were talking there.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this week for me has been farm stuff. I love farm stuff, and been looking for tractors. Ended up buying a tractor today, so I'm excited about that. I was hoping they'd be able to deliver it today, but they had to do some stuff to it before they got it out here, so it won't be here till Friday at least. And but I'm excited to have a tractor that runs whenever I go out there to work to start. Now I've got a little Kubota. It runs every time I go out there to do it, but I don't have the big old John Deere we got. It's the most unreliable thing I've ever dealt with in my life. I'm constantly working on that thing and rewiring and changing oil filters and transmission filters and fluids and greasing the thing. It's a big old lemon, always has been. But I am excited getting a Deutz German company, and it's a four-wheel drive diesel cab. It's the first cab tractor we've ever had on the farm. It's ours.
Nice.
So I am looking forward to that, not like burning up and eating and choking down dust all during the summer and not freezing to death in the wintertime. So it will be nice. I'm hoping if everything works out well. But it's been a long time looking at bunches of different tractors and driving them and researching and everything else. And for better or worse, I got what I got, and we'll see how it works out.
I can hear you already. Gunner's gonna come up. Dad, you want me to go plow that 500 acres for you?
Mm-mm.
No, son. You got homework to do. I'll do it myself.
Yeah. Well, we got the option where I can hook up stuff without having to get out of the cab and go down there and put the pins in and stuff. I mean, I've still got some older stuff that I'll have to either get the quick connect things set up for it, or as we buy new equipment, uh, just have to make sure you get the European hookups so that I can hook it up just from the cab. That would be nice. And then it's got the remotes in the back, so you can adjust your arms and everything from the back, and you can bump the PTO from the back and stuff. So it makes it a lot
That's
easier.
nice.
Makes it a lot easier to hook everything up if you're doing it by
Hmm.
yourself. If you don't have a child to stand back there between the tractor and the implement and to pinch their hands and feet and drop things on their heads and stuff like that. Farm work is always so much fun and so much danger. It's
Right.
Gunner's pretty cautious. He's learned. I keep telling him he wants to always drive the tractor and me hook it up. I'm like, no. It's time for you to pay your dues, son. When you get old, you get to stay in the tractor. When you're young, you got to hook it up. Oh, well. Let's see. On the God side, had, let's see. Gosh, had security last Sunday, maybe. Yeah. Not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before last. This last Sunday, we actually watched church online. We was up really late Saturday night, and I didn't have to serve Sunday, and we were planning on going to another place, but things happened and it got late, and we didn't go to church on this Sunday, but we watched online uh, three different sermons. So I had to repent for that, and but I needed some rest. I'd been running all last week, and so it was good that all went well. Um, I've been out hunting with the night guy over here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we've been out hunting coyotes. All I've seen every time I go out to hunt coyotes, they like all sleep in or something. I saw owls and deer and raccoons and skunks. I didn't see any coyotes. Come home, put the rifle up, and I hear coyotes.
Hmm.
Like, and I know I was downwind of them, and I know that they didn't see me. So I don't know. I just I don't. I thought I had their schedule down because I know where they've been crossing at, and then I pick them up on the cameras at night and stuff when they get close to the house. So I know. I thought I knew their pattern pretty well, but they must have found something. And some cats have been disappearing around here from the neighbors, and so I know that they're eating good around here.
Do you have a squealer?
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's cool, but I never heard I squealed, and I got one of those pre-recorded speaker things and
Mm-hmm.
flips the tails and all that stuff. They weren't coming to that. I don't know if I was just too far, if they were too far away to hear it or what. But I did the squeaker and squealer, and I got even the mouth squealer and stuff. So they weren't coming that last 3 nights that I'd been out there. But it was a pretty bright moon last 3 or 4 days too. So I don't know. They might have picked up my shadows and stuff.
Wasn't having it, was he?
Mm-mm. I would have thought I would have saw them because I mean, even when I hear them howl, I'll go out in the back of the field beside the house there, and I'll see the tops of something flash by, white hot, along the fence line, but they're down over in that bottom. They're not even coming up on top of the ridge where I can see them. So I'm going to have to go down in that bottom and just set up a blind down there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking up on top of the ridge, I'd be able to spot them, but it's not able. They're staying in the creeks or something. Let's see, what else do we do? I've been doing a lot on the ham radio. I've been serving a net controller for last several Sunday nights. One of the hams in the local club that calls the Sunday night net is bought a house in a different county, and he hasn't got his rig set up there yet. So he got his tower set up yet. So he's going to try to run it from 60 miles, maybe 57, 60 miles. He's got a huge tower he's going to put up, and I'm sure he's got some kind of beam that he's going to shoot back down this way. Plus, the tower over at Cane Valley is at like, I'm thinking it's 1,200 feet above sea level. It's way up there. So I mean, there's people in Louisville and Henry County up along the Ohio River are hitting it. And, where Columbia is compared to Jefferson County, that's a long shot.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a good antenna, you can hit it. I guess a beam antenna. All right, let's see. Oh, what else was it? Oh, Steve was picking up a Friday deal. Does that make you a left winger now, Doug? That's funny.
That would be no.
We're reading comments. I'm sorry for you guys at home or people listening on the podcast. They're like, what are they talking about? Squirrel.
Yeah.
There's comments on the live show. I'm sorry, we'll have to relate that to you. But if you're on here live and making comments, we're trying to read them as we get an opportunity. I'm glad you got to go out to South Dakota, man. I'm looking forward to hearing about what all you got to do while he's out there. EDC check tonight. I am packing the. I'm actually still packing the Glock 30S in a Super Tuck Deluxe with a Surefire light, and I have. I also brought up my the holster from Sword Slinger. That's a beautiful holster. I've got my STI Staccato C in there, and it's got the Bulwark's Rook on there.
Did you just get that?
No, I've had it for a long time.
Oh, have you?
But I was wearing it in there the other day outside the waistband holster. But that is just a beautiful. It doesn't do it justice as camera does, but it's just like a mahogany kind of a finish, and that staccato looks really good in there.
I got one coming for my 44 Magnum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big hog leg.
Mm-hmm.
That's my EDC check for the night.
Mine is, of course, Glock 19 with my student of the gun night vision sights on it, and I have a couple of crossbreed holsters laying around.
Cool.
I had some, I can't remember who it was now. Somebody emailed me the other day, said they were fixed to order some crossbreeds and then sent me a pic. Oh, you done switch this up again? Freaking me out. And he had ordered a couple of crossbreed holsters and got them in, and so far liked them. I mean, I'm like, I hope you do. They're quite nice. It's like you're playing cards.
I got a new toy where I can move stuff around, add stuff, take stuff out. That's pretty cool. They gave us some new features over here. We'll be playing around with it like a bunch of kids. We're ADD, man. We get distracted. You got us a joke tonight. Let's hear the joke.
Let's see. Where is my joke? Hey, so sticking with the Thanksgiving theme for tomorrow.
Uh
A man in Chicago calls his son in New York the day before Thanksgiving and says, "I hate to ruin your day, but I have to tell you that your mother and I are getting divorced. 45 years of misery is enough." "Pop, what are you talking about?" the son screams. "We can't stand the sight of each other any longer," the father tells him. "We're sick of each other, and I'm sick of talking about it, so you can call your sister in Dallas and tell her." Frantically, the son calls his sister, who explodes on the phone. "Like the heck they are going to get divorced," she shouts. "I'll take care of this." She calls Chicago immediately and screaming at her father, "You are not getting divorced. Don't do a single thing until I get there. I'm calling my brother back and we'll both be there tomorrow. Until then, don't do anything. Do you hear me?" And hangs up. The old man hangs up the phone and turns to his wife. He goes, "Okay, they're coming for Thanksgiving and they're paying their own way."
A good deal.
That's a way to do it.
That's how you handle it.
That's it. That was quite good. When I started reading that, I was like, "Where's this going?"
William, I am doing the Central Kentucky Amateur Radio Club Sunday night net for Noel while he's moving. William asked which net I was doing.
Oh, which net you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing the Sunday night Central Kentucky Amateur Radio Club out of Columbia. Daryl's in the house.
Errol's already getting the duck hunt out in he's out in California, so he's already duck hunting out there.
Good deal. Yeah, he's got some interesting posts out there in California.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So on this day in history, for you history buffs out there, in 1859, the racist Charles Darwin publishes The Origin of the Species, Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life. His first printing sold 1,250 copies and sold out in a single day. You know, to eugenicists like Margaret Sanger, founder of Planned Parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I stuttered. If you stuttered, I mean, eugenicists would want to take you out. Maybe Bill Gates' parents, you know, they were both big friends with Margaret Sanger. And then, of course, Hitler was a big fanboy of Darwin because, you know, he thought that, you know, if, you know, race wasn't pure, that you should just eliminate them. So he did a lot because, you know, there's that socialist mindset. Gary's in the house. I'm not here yet. I can't find y'all. Well, we see you. Then in 1992, this day in history, November the 24th, the U.S. Congress passed the Brady Bill, requiring a 5-day waiting period for handgun sales. It's named after President Ronald Reagan's press secretary, who was left partially paralyzed by a bullet during an assassination attempt on Reagan.
Yep.
Was it Hinckley? Hinckley?
Hinckley, wasn't it?
Hinckley. Shot him with a 22, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I remember it, man.
Yeah, I remember seeing the pictures of it, you know, on the evening news, and Secret Service pouncing on the dude, the shots going off, and Reagan like he didn't know what happened, and they threw him in the car and took off with him. And Brady was laying there on the ground. But, you know, it would have never stopped Hinckley from getting a 5-day waiting period. When it stopped him, and it was a family gun, had been in the family forever. So
right. But didn't he shoot him in like 83?
When he got shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in his third year of his term. It's right after he talked about auditing the Fed. So anytime you talk about auditing the Fed, you get shot.
Look
That's what
out.
happened. That's what happened to Kennedy. That's what happened to Lincoln. He would want to take the printing away from the going to Edna Furnace to hear Sammy Gilbert in revival. Well, good deal. Sammy's the miracle boy. He should have died a long time ago, according to doctors.
Mm-hmm.
He's got aneurysm in his heart or something. It's like could like explode at any time, and he's like every single day or single minute is like by God's grace. He got a great testimony. He used to be a pastor. Oh, that was the night Reagan shot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought, man, Sammy they hadn't been preaching in a while now. I think, like, why was he preaching it? At the furnace? Like, hey, I ain't been at the first. I've been through it in the first, but I ain't been at the first church. Gosh, in 20 something years, 30 years. Probably. That's about the time I have.
Excuse me.
All right. Yep. So the Brady bill, biggest waste ever was.
Oh, she said he's still preaching in Alabama.
Yeah, I knew he was down in Alabama somewhere. I didn't know if he was still preaching though. I was thinking he was just like a guest speaker places. So he's a pastor somewhere.
Mm-hmm. He
We
says,
got a conversation going on over here in the comment section. Sorry, people, we're talking about local stuff to national audience, international audience. All
okay,
right.
so I'm sorry.
So,
He actually got shot March 30th of 1981.
81. I thought he
To
was in his third year.
1981. Because I remember when we found out about it, I was playing baseball for the high school team at the time when they came out and told us that he had been shot.
So you're a freshman then. No, you've been a sophomore.
No, I was a sophomore
81.
because I
I was playing
graduated in
football.
'83.
I played football as a freshman, 79 and 80. Yeah, so you've been a sophomore or a junior, depending on what
Mm-hmm.
time of the year. Cool. All right, Bible verses this evening are coming from First Thessalonians 5, and I was going to share that with you, and I did not pop that up just yet. I'm almost there, and here we go. Oh, that's not quite big enough, is it?
Not quite.
Let's see if I can make it bigger. No, it's getting smaller. Well, that's the best I can do under the circumstances. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, and give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. So we are supposed to be continually rejoicing. We're always supposed to be rejoicing in the things that God has given us and provided us and supplied us, and His gifts, spiritual gifts, His gifts of health, His gifts of finances. We're supposed to be praying continually, attitude of prayer continually as a conversation with God about the concerns and needs upon that we have and the things that we are in agreement with God on, that we're praying that His kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven, that He will be proclaimed, that Jesus will be proclaimed as Savior. And so all these things we're supposed to be praying about, we're supposed to be excited, happy about, and we're supposed to be giving thanks about. So we're always supposed to be in an attitude of thanksgiving, not just on, the last Thursday in November. It's supposed to be continuously an attitude of thanksgiving for all the things that God has given us, but most especially for giving us Jesus to be a sacrifice that we might be saved, that we might be reunited with the Father. And so without that giving of that Christ gave his life, that we would be able to have a relationship with the Father and be able to have our sins uh, washed away by his blood. By that we should be eternally thankful. We should always be thankful for that. And it's God's will that we would be thankful, that we be always in an attitude of gratitude for what Jesus has done, and an attitude that the Father has accepted his sacrifice as atonement for our sin. All right, so that's the Bible verses this evening. Take this back down here and let's hear all about pheasant hunting in South Dakota, because I think it's going to need to be a uh, annual event that we go together out go pheasant hunting every year, Doug.
That, dude, I tell you what, it was fun. Like I said, that was a bucket list hunt. I've never been in that part of the country. I've never been in South Dakota, um, or North Dakota, actually, for that matter, either. But it's different. It actually reminds me a lot of Arkansas. The layout of the land. It's just cornfields versus rice, and I don't know, man. I can't even tell you. We were hunting. He's got permission to hunt like 8,000 acres that he has permission to hunt on.
Yeah.
And I swear the first day we walked all 8,000 of them. I was I was whooped, dude.
Did you walk upwind or downwind?
Dude, it didn't matter in South Dakota. The wind hits you no matter which way you're facing.
I know.
You know, I would go outside the lodge for a minute and light up a cigar or something and try. Oh yeah, and I was like, oh, well, that's pretty bad here. Let me go around to the other side. I go to the other side. I'm like, ooh, that's worse. So I'd go back to the other side of the first side I started on, and I've never been in a place where it didn't matter which side of a building you were standing on, you were getting pelted, dude. It was blowing. I was like, man. But check this out. He had a dog.
Uh-huh.
He had it was a cocker spaniel, and he didn't hunt her, but she hunts, but he wasn't hunting her while we were out there because she was carrying a litter of puppies, so he didn't want to take her.
Yeah.
But he had this other little dog named Scout, and it looked like a little mini lab, is what it looked like, a little chocolate lab.
Mm-hmm.
But that little cocker spaniel was a mama, and he bred it to a full size lab, and they got Scout and his brothers and sisters, which other people had some of them, but he called them spaniel doors. And that little joker hunts like a cocker spaniel, getting in the thick, going. And then when you shot something, he was faster than the Labradors trying to get out there to retrieve it to bring it back. But man, that little joker worked. He was he was so cool. But you could tell they were pretty spoiled too. But there were some guys out there deer hunting when we got there, and he comes in the night we were there, and he had killed a big 10-point. I mean, big old buck, and he shot it with an arrow. They were from Texas, and him and his buddy. And I got out there, was looking around. I said, how far did you have to go to climb a tree, to shoot that thing? Because there ain't no trees.
Yeah.
And he said, no. He said, I was just on the ground stalk hunting, and got up 53 yards and shot it. And he was a pretty cool guy. He's got a place in Oklahoma that he was talking about. He's got one of those round hog traps.
Yeah.
That's elevated.
Drops. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he watches them on camera, and when he gets most of the sounder inside the pen, he's got a remote button that he can hit and drop that thing, or he does it from an app off his phone, or he does it some way and drops a pin on him. I was like, well, that's pretty slick. I said, anytime you want some help, let me know. I said, I'll come out. He lives in Texas, but I guess he's right on the Texas-Oklahoma border somewhere. But I said, I'd love to come out there. So the guide and the owner, Brad, he was telling me he has been going out for the last couple of years to Texas on one of those helicopter pig hunts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, he started telling me about it. There was an older gentleman there that I guess is family friend for years. He was telling me he was fixing. I think he said he was fixing to turn 89 years old, but he took him last year out there. And he said, man, I shot one of them Benellis so many times. He said, I don't want to ever see one of them kicking things again. He said in 2 days they killed 300 and some hogs.
Oh my gosh, with a shotgun?
Yeah, with shotgun.
Gosh. Oh, out of the helicopter.
out of a helicopter,
Man,
shooting them with buckshot.
wow. 89 years old,
89
shooting out
years
of a
old.
helicopter with a banana head.
Dude, you know, I was glad to see him because I was probably, I wasn't the oldest, but I was the next oldest person there. And some of the other guys were, they were young bucks. They could take all that walking. Well, when the older gentleman finally, I can't remember his name. I apologize, but he showed up. He never walked anywhere. He stayed in the truck, and we'd walk a field and get to the other side. He would come around and pick us up in his truck and take us back to the truck where we started at. Because the first day we had to walk. We walked all the way and then turned around and walked back. I'm like, man, let's cover something else. We just walked that. We know there ain't no pheasant in there.
Hmm.
And we go back through, and sure enough, we'd be jumping pheasant going the other way. They're
Yeah.
fast little birds, man. They can run, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they run fast, and if they got the tailwind, they gone.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, if they got up in front of that A5 in front of me, they didn't last long.
I can see that by the pictures.
Yeah, yeah, we was knocking them out. They we were hunting, and the second day with all the wind, they hunted. They called it they were hunting in the woods. It wasn't woods. It was 4 rows of trees that were planted like little. They almost look like the size of a peach tree. Is what they
Hmm.
look like down here in Georgia. And they were in a row. And I guess it was kind of like a windbreak, but it was growed up underneath them and stuff. And then it was cornfields on both sides, or sunflower seeds, or whatever that field we were hunting. But they would get the guys out in front of us, and they would line that up. And as we pushed through that grass and stuff with the dogs, the pheasant would run. They'd get up, and wherever they come out, the guys would shoot them. And after about the second time in that 50-mile-an-hour wind, I realized outside of that tree hedge row was not the place you wanted to be, because it was 50 miles an hour. I mean, it was just blowing, cutting through you. And so I stayed in there with the dogs. They're like, who wants to push this time? I'll do it. Put me down there. I get to go slower with the dogs because they were trying to walk the dog or work the dogs good, so they could smell them,
Yeah.
and they wasn't trying to kill me. And so I said, shoot, they get up in that hedgerow, buddy. They was done.
That's cool.
But it was a lot of fun. I did fall once. I was walking through some CRP grass, and I was watching off to my left. There was like a big ditch that had cattails and some other stuff growing there, and the guide was in there with the dogs, working the dogs through this big old ditch, and I was just up on top of it, and I was just walking along. I'm probably knee deep in grass, in CRP grass, and all of a sudden I made a step, and there was no bottom, and
Oh, wow.
I hit a ditch that was about that wide. It's like a cutout place for it looked like an erosion place coming off the field into the ditch where
Hmm.
it cut it. But he said they only get like 13 inches of rain a year, so I'm not sure, you know
Or is it
what.
snow?
Huh?
Snow runoff.
That could have been maybe. Anyway, I didn't see it, and I stepped off in it,
Yeah.
and my buddy that was on the other side of me said all he could see was my Orange Bass Pro Shop hat sticking up, and I was not happy. And I landed on my elbow because I'm trying to keep the gun pointed up in the air, when I
Yeah.
fell.
You didn't do
And
a Dick Cheney and shoot anybody, did you?
I did not. It didn't go off or nothing. I was pretty proud of myself.
Well, good deal.
But
I
I
saw
got
you
back up.
wearing safety glasses. I assume that's so you wouldn't get shot in in your face or in your eye.
Dude, I've never pheasant hunted. For
Hmm.
people that do pheasant hunt, I give you credit. But they push pheasant toward each other. I mean, we're
Hmm.
walking to guys that are walking toward us, and there's guys on the side, and you basically corral them
Hmm.
and get them toward the middle. And when they start coming up, you start shooting. And I'm like, that goes against every principle of my being. Is
Yeah.
when I come up and I see
Suck
orange
yours.
out in front of me somewhere, I don't care if I'm shooting. They said, well, just wait till he gets up. He said, make sure you can see blue sky under the pheasant, and then shoot him. I'm like, I still don't like that much.
Yeah. I don't know. That sounds a little iffy.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty good ways off. So they're they're gonna get a little pelted probably, but
Yeah.
that's why you had the safety glasses on.
Yeah, I figured pellets are flying around there.
But I tell you
I,
what, it's another added perk to shooting with both eyes open, which I do.
yeah.
Because I'm looking at the bead on the shotgun through one, and I'm looking. I can see on the other side. I can see where everybody's at. The
Mhm.
guy, one of the guys that was hauling us around, he's like, "Yeah," he said, "just come up on him." He said, "Wait till you don't see orange in the middle and shoot him." I was like, "No,
Apparently, his insurance hadn't been tapped yet.
I did. I didn't shoot several pheasant because you know, they would come up and they would only get, 3 or 4 feet high and take off down the road and try to get out. They're doing whatever they can do to get away from you.
Oh
But
yeah,
but we was wreaking havoc on them if there was sky underneath them, they was done. We
yeah.
had one of the guys that was hunting with us. We were pushing our last tree row, and he's on the outside of me, and I'm down in there, and he's on the edge of the cornfield. I kept hollering at him. I'm like, "Pheasant coming out. He's coming on your side." Boom, 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 boom. And there was pheasant going everywhere. And he's just waylaying. I was like, man, he is tearing them up. He comes running. He comes down in the edge of the woods where I was at in that little hedge road. He said, "Man, you got any shells on you?" I said, "Yeah, I got lots of them." I said, "You out?" He goes, "Man, I just shot my last one." I said, "How many birds you killed?" He goes, "Man, I got one a while ago."
Oh
I was like,
gosh.
"All right." But in his defense, he was on the outside where they were coming out. They catch that wind coming, and they were doing 50 miles an hour plus however fast. One of them was coming against the wind, and everybody down that row had shot at this bird, and he was coming dude. He was flying sideways with the wind, you
Yeah.
know. And the guy reached over, tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, "Dude, kill that bird, please." I'm like, "All right." Bam. He said, "Thank you."
So how
But it
did it
was,
work out? You claimed your own, or they took them all and split them amongst a number of people?
yeah. We just
When you
shot
did
till we.
25, you were done.
Yeah, I got a new hunting vest the other day for my birthday, so I had to at least get one in my vest and have the feathers sticking out of the vest,
Hmm.
in true pheasant hunting fashion, I guess.
Good deal.
So we get down there the night we got there. The the owner's daughter was cooking dinner, and she was FaceTiming her son, who's 9 years old, Troy, and he was in a combining sunflower seeds
Cool.
in like a $500,000 combine. He's in there by himself. He's just going at it. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Well,
having
I
a good old
mean, there's not many ditches.
in the
You're out in the
field.
middle of the plains.
No, plus we were talking, and I guess combines have come a long way since you
Oh
and
yeah.
I were doing it.
They run off GPS and
They
stuff
run
now.
GPS and
Yeah.
satellite. You don't even have to hardly drive them.
Yeah, they got feelers that
Excuse me.
adjust the head along the ground, and
Yep.
it ain't like the days when we had to watch for rocks and rabbits and stuff, and
Mm-mm.
hit the rock drop panel to drop a rock out of the reel,
Yep.
and try to float the head on. Of course, our fields here, like this, and yeah, you're doing this kind of thing and up and down hills, and they
You go
catch
down.
on fire and all that stuff around here.
Uh-huh. Well, that's
Yeah,
what they were saying. That the only thing they were worried about him doing it was, I guess they had a combine burn up a while back because
yeah,
I guess when they're combining soybeans, there's so much fine, not
dust.
soybeans, but sunflowers.
Yeah.
There's so much fine dust that comes off of them.
It's like that with soybeans too. There's so much dust that comes off of them, and it can be flammable. You get a
Mm-hmm.
spark, that thing will go up. That's what happened to our combine. The year I left for college, uh, Napoleon, he was combining, and it caught on fire. It burnt to the ground. He shouldn't have been combining by himself. He was 70. 8, something like that. Yeah, I'd been combining for like 10, 12 years before that. I started combining on the farm when I was about 11, 10, 11, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
12. He'd be running the grain wagons back and forth to the to the bins and unload them and come along, and I'd be dumping them off and combining. He would come out there and tell me I need to go back and get those rows where there was a bunch of vines and stuff in there. We get in the biggest fights. I'm like, no, let's get everything else and we'll get that last. And he's like, no, we gotta get them. We gotta get them. There's a bunch of beans in there. I'm like, it's full of vines. I ain't going in there because we'll get all bound up. Because
Yep.
and he would jump in that combine. He'd run into that mess. And he'd get about 50 yards into there and we would kill the combine because it would be full of those vines all the way through the reel, all the way through the shakers and the pan and the plates in the back, and get their pocket knives out and start crawling through and cutting them out. Spend an hour getting it all cleaned out, getting everything running again. And then I was like, okay, let's don't do that again. Well, I think we can get. All right, I just go over and take the tractor to up the grain. After about the third time, he got to where he said, let's just go and get the rest of the beans. We'll get them last.
Right.
But every time, man, every year, I was like, how about, well, wait, we'll get them last. I mean, it wasn't that he was stupid. He's so OCD about doing it that field, getting that field done. I'm like, let's get everything that we can get that's not a problem. Then we'll get that's because, the weather is the biggest deal about,
Yep.
making sure you got your moisture at the right humidity, that it's not too wet. Your beans are not too high in moisture stuff, so they don't get mold or start getting all kinds of this problems that you get with that. Plus, you get docked with all them weeds, seeds
Mm-hmm.
and stuff in them too. And I'm like, I don't want all that mess in there. If we're going to do that, we had that cleaning reel. You run through there and it's got a fan and it had the cage, and you can throw all those seeds out. And if you did all that nasty stuff at the one run, you could get all that cleaned out instead of having to clean all the beans. You just clean the ones that were had the weeds and stuff in.
Right.
Yeah.
Ex-
Oh, you guys don't care nothing about this. We're talking about farming stuff from back in the day. They probably got those built into the combines now that blow all the little weed seeds out of them to keep them from getting docked for that stuff.
oh yeah.
Mulberry stains on your beans or on your corn and stuff like that. Going back in the day. Let's see. So that's got the pheasant stuff. We're down to thinking a couple sponsors. Then we got the Armed Citizen come up next. Again, check out Primary Arms. If you've not checked out Primary Arms, please do and use that frn.deals/PA, Papa Alpha. And that helps out Farm Bureau Network. It helps us out, and it will get you to Primary Arms. Also, want to thank all you guys who are Subscribe Star Patreons, or whatever you call them. I guess you're not Patreons, you're Subscribe Star stars
Star.
that have given money to us through subscribestar.com/God dash and dash guns. I didn't make that. That's what Subscribestar did. So
That's what they
sorry
gave.
it's so long, but subscribestar.com/God and God dash and dash guns. Also, we've got two others in the Armed Citizen.
Hey, so the next one's PowerTac lights. You've heard Troy and I talk about it on every show. But if you're looking for a good flashlight for a weapon, for a headlamp for hunting, or just an everyday flashlight, go check our buddies out at PowerTac.com. They got all kinds of stuff out there. When you find something, use our promo code God and Guns, and they will give you 40% off for just listening to the show. They actually have a lot of good deals going right now because I got a thing from them today, I think. But they're offering 50% off right now. So go check them out. It's a good deal. Also, Crossbreed holsters. Hey, if you're carrying a gun and you have one in your vehicle, on your person, your wife has one in her purse, or you got one on the nightstand next to your bed, Crossbreed makes a holster for you. So go check our buddies out at crossbreedholsters.com. pheasantandgeese.com. Hey, use a promo code over there too, G&G, and they will give you 10% off for just listening to the show, and you will enjoy it, I promise.
Good deal. I need to get a new crossbreed belt. I think I need to send in the size. I've been holding off because I kept dropping sizes. I just got rid of a bunch of clothes, another bunch of clothes.
Did you?
I've moved. I started out several years ago in 62s. I got down to 58s, and then 56s, 54s, and then this last time I got rid of all the 54s, 52s, 50s, and I think all I've kept is the 48s, which a couple fit, and I got rid of all the big 48s, and I'm in 46 and 44s now. So
Nice.
I keep going the right direction. So I've been
There you go.
I've been doing the intermittent fasting mostly for the last 3.5 weeks now. So I'm bouncing on that 200-pound threshold. I'm hoping to break through, but tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so it may not be until first week of December before I get down there, but we'll see how it goes. Armed Citizen of the Week. What we got?
Armed Citizen of the Week. A woman in Anderson, Indiana defends herself when an intruder broke into her home early morning hours of September 29, 21. It all started sometime after midnight that Wednesday when a man drove up and parked his car in front of the residence. The man, wearing a mask, then walked up to the home and began looking through the windows before forcing his way through the door and producing a weapon. His movements and actions were captured by a neighbor's surveillance camera. The camera also captured audio of the intruder talking once he entered the residence, saying, "It's the police," and asking for money. Alerted by the intruder's voice and the sound of the forced entry, the woman retreated upstairs and armed herself. When the intruder came upstairs, she shot the would-be burglar. She then ran to the neighbor's house around 12:47 a.m. and called the authorities. When police arrived, they found the 40-year-old intruder dead in one of the upstairs bedrooms. As stated by Madison County Prosecutor Rodney Cummings in regards to the home invasion, if you're breaking into somebody's home in the middle of the night, if you don't get shot or killed, you should feel fortunate. And that comes to us from Fox59.com, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Deal. We had a question over on YouTube
What's a
from
combine?
what the combine. I guess we do have people that don't. I would think from being from Missouri, Billy, you would know what a combine is, but we'll show you what a combine is in case you don't know. We do have people that are not here in the States. Let's see if I can bring this up.
You bring a picture of a combine up.
Working on it. There's a picture of a combine.
That's a combine.
That's a nice combine. We didn't have a nice combine. We had an old Massey Ferguson combine that was probably made in the 74, 75. Well, when I first started combine, we had an old John Deere pull behind combine. So it hooked onto the back of the tractor, and it had a belt drive on it. And that's what I used the first couple of years I was combine. Yeah, I figured he was kidding.
I can say he's in Missouri right now.
Yeah, I'm like, Billy, you ought to know what a combine is of all people. Because Missouri's full of combines.
And
But
ducks right now.
and ducks. Yeah. And we got geese here. There's Canadian geese up the road in a cornfield. They were in the other one of our cornfields, but they were too far for me to go get them. Of course, I don't think I've got a goose stamp or whatever you gotta have. I just got a general hunting license.
Federal duck stamp.
Yeah, I don't have that because we don't see enough ducks around here to warrant me to try to. I don't have a retriever dog or any of that cool stuff, man.
Buddy won't go get them for you.
He might, but he might not bring it back. He'd probably take it over somewhere and eat it.
Eat it, yeah.
He got into some chocolate or some kind of candy. He's been sick all afternoon. Kids left a candy bar or something in the family room. They were over visiting the grandkids, not my kids. The grandkids were here visiting, and they've left Candy, and he got into that. So yeah, we're gonna be cleaning up around here for a while.
So,
All right,
so
go
what
ahead.
did you think about Kyle Rittenhouse verdict?
Well, I don't think it should ever been brought. That was just
I
ridiculous.
I don't either, but I think justice was served as far as him getting off from that because that was
Oh
clearly
yeah.
self defense from the get go.
But I mean, his mother and he are bankrupt. I mean, they're going to have to win some lawsuits to pay all these lawyers' fees and bills and expert witnesses and all that garbage. Plus, he got stuck in jail that time. I mean, that prosecutor should be prosecuted. I mean, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
They
I
should
thought the
sue
same thing.
him first. Stop stupid stuff like that. Of course, that guy's probably being funded by George Soros, trying to take down the country, take our rights away. So it's just more of the same, man. It's just a constant attacks on our freedoms, and at some point, the Patriots are going to just have to, bloody the nose of the tyrant. I guess they're not going to back off. I guess till they get bullies are they keep bullying until somebody punches them in the nose and bloodies them really good, and then they back off that stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. We have crop dusters here, but they're helicopters, and we don't have any airplane crop dusters. Billy's commenting over in the section again. Billy's a problem child.
And 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 Andrew just joined us.
Andrew's here.
He is.
Andrew was
What's,
here earlier.
how are you?
Oh, AJ. Okay, we got two Andrews here.
Yeah, well, two Andrews. Yeah, AJ.
Good deal. Holidays. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this puppy up. We want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. We had Mark on here earlier wishing us a happy Thanksgiving. We appreciate
Yep.
it. And sorry we missed last week, but Doug was enjoying getting in the windy state of South Dakota, and I hope to join him someday soon.
We got to do it.
Yep. And then, well, we wish you all a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy time with your family and friends. And we're going to have a pretty good sized crew at Mom's tomorrow, I believe. We're cooking everything and taking it up there. So we're going to spend time with family tomorrow. And we've invited friends as well. So it'll be a good time of Thanksgiving and thanking God for what we're thankful for and all the
Indeed.
things He brought us through. And it's been a rough year for the Clopton and the Clopton family. We lost two close family members this year, and there's a lot of other struggles going on that just can't talk about. But we appreciate y'all support, appreciate y'all hanging out with us and praying for us, especially if you're in the elders group and the struggles that we've been dealing with. A lot of the things we've had issues all the way around, but just got back to Kentucky from Virginia for Thanksgiving. A good deal.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, we're going to wrap this thing up. Send your feedback to Troy at guideandgunspodcast.com, or
Doug at GuyandGunsPodcast.com.
please tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Guide and Guns Podcast. You can follow us on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, hit that notification bell thing so you'll know when we have new videos coming up. You can find us over on Instagram. We have a Wimpkin personal and Guide and Guns page. We're on, well, I'm not even going to mention Rumble. We got Rumble, but I'm just not doing it right or something. We got MeWe, websites, guideandgunspodcast.com. And I know there's some things changing over the Farms Radio Network about where shows are being posted. I was getting some information from, Sean earlier, maybe it was yesterday or the day before, about things changing over there and what the new website's going to be like. So I don't know if I'm going to get it all figured out before I post it tonight, but we'll do what we can do. Also, I was talking to who was I talking to? Steve Stone. Got him a FT5.
Really?
FT5D, yeah. Oh, there's if you're looking to get an FT5, Ham Radio Outlet's got them for $3.99 on Friday special. That's quite a bit off from whatever the price was before. It's
Mm-hmm.
like what, 40, $50 off, $60 off. So But I kept thinking I got to remember something to tell. But Steven is getting that, and so I've got a Wires X room node here at the house, and it's a God and Guns Wires X room. So if you guys are savvy to Yaesu System Fusion, find me on there and message me that you're going to be on or whatever, and we'll have a QSO on the Wires X room.
There you go.
And Steve went ahead and ordered the connection cable so I can do direct mode with that F25. So you don't have to have a HRI 200. Well, we're ham shop. People are like, what? Who? Where? What? Until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
Hey, keep your guns close, but keep your Bibles closer. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate y'all joining us tonight and all the comments and the likes and the shares. We really appreciate it. And we will talk to you all on the backside.